Students, today we are going to target resume writing. Look at the pronunciation. It is resume and not resume. Resume means it's an English word which means to stop and start again. Whereas resume, look at the pronunciation, it's nasal pronunciation. It means it's a French term which means summary of one's achievements. Now, when we look at the definition of resume, it is the summary of one's achievements, qualifications, and past records which come in one or two pages. Try to condense your matter in one page, or you may go to two pages, but try not to keep little matter on the second page. It has to be full. Put your signature there. Do not go to third or fourth page, for the reason if you have got a smart resume, you must have it in two pages only. Now, when we have to build up a resume, there are certain things to be remembered. Number one, we must go for reverse chronological pattern. What does this mean? This means the latest achievement, the latest qualification, latest thing should come first and previous information should go behind. You must go for the right font size and homogeneous pattern. For example, if you have gone for say Times New Roman or Arial's font, now you are supposed to fix that font type and the size as well. Go for that pattern. Do not go for change of font size. And good quality of paper is important. You can go for 3 grammage paper. It can be a white or light cream color, or it can be a gray one. But do not go for dark papers. Colored papers are okay, but they should be of light shade. Then you have to keep the headings and subheadings in an indented manner. The main headings should stand out and the subheading should go inside. You may follow any type of manner. We have 3 kinds of resume: chronological, mixed, or functional. If you have got everything in proper order, that means you are not a dropout. You have got everything year-wise. You can go for a chronological type of resume where year is mentioned against the achievement or qualification. In case of functional resume, we do not put years. For example, if you've got something very negative in your background or qualification, if you've taken a drop, if you feel that that should not be told to the employer, you can go for functional resume. What if you've got a good resume, there is no drop here, at the same time you want to keep important information first and then the less important one? Then you can go for mixed type of resume where the year is mentioned like the chronological type, but the segments, they are actually flipped, right? So you can keep achievements on top instead of academics, in this case of mixed type of resume. Then when we see the parts of resume, in the beginning, see, earlier when we had this biodata, in case of biodata, we had the habit of scattering the contact details and our status and our religion. Everything was, kept on the first page. Biodata is a personal information detail. Now that is not acceptable. In case of resume, which is made by professionals, we try to keep all the contact details and name on top. Then we come to career objective. Career objective is the most important thing in your resume, because the first page of resume is known as the highlight page, and that particular section is the amplification section. That is first 1/3 part of your resume. So that is very important. We need to keep this very much in mind, that the career objective is read by most of the people. So career objective or personal profile. You can mention here why do you want this job, or something about your basic personality which you think is good enough and you should get this job. That can come here. So it could be either career objective or personal statement or profile. Then we have the academic profile. In case of academic profile, we'll have the engineering degree first, then the previous one, that is your higher secondary and high school. Similarly, we'll follow the work profile as well. The latest experience would come first, followed by the later ones, the previous ones. Then we have skills. In skills, we have the technical skills, that is your computer literacy, and the non-technical skills, where you will have something related to your personality trait. If you are good at editing, you've got something like a coordinating ability, you are a good team worker, all that you can place in non-technical skills. As an engineer, we are supposed to have some experience as well. So if we don't have work experience, we can actually keep our industrial visits, educational trips here in our resume, because this is adding on to our practical experience. The kind of major projects that we have handled, that's very important. Then the kind of training programs during our college years. See, this has added up to your practical experience. What about co-curricular activities? Co-curricular activities mean not exactly beyond the curriculum, something that is inclusive yet it is not a part of the curriculum. So all the workshops, seminars, conferences where you go and present papers, your research papers, you can keep them under co-curricular activities. In case of extracurricular activities, we try and go for cultural, literary, sports, NCC, NSS. Now, here what students do is they think this is an unimportant section and we need not put it in detail. Believe me, sometimes the entire interview focuses around this. So if you have got some participation in cultural, if you are good at literary, if you are good at essay writing or debate or group discussion, mention it here. Who knows, you might be picked up for that quality. Then sports, NCC and NSS, all of them have points. Of course, if you're working in an NGO, you can put it here and then you can manage your resume well with the extracurricular segment. See, if we have kept everything in co-curricular, extracurricular, these could be of, say, interdisciplinary or intercollegiate level or inter-school level or intra-school level. But what about those where you have scored more, where you have got good in national level or state level or international level, something that you can actually boast of? All those feathers of your resume can come in awards and achievements. So this is a very important part of your resume. This is the USP or the selling point where you can put up all the good things and achievements which are really big. Then we have the personal details. In biodata, we kept them on the first page. Here in case of resume, we can keep them at the end. All about your status, religion, hobbies, strengths and weaknesses that can come in personal details. Talking of references. References means name and address of 3 people whom you think are at gazetted post and they can talk well about you. See, it could be a teacher, a school or college level teacher. It could be a person who's your family friend and he's got gazetted position and can tell about you as a human being. A teacher can talk about you as a student, your traits as a student, how good you are as a learner. Then you can go for reference of an ex-employer. If you feel that ex-employer would talk good about you because he knows you as a worker, what is your working ability? So these references can be kept here. Then you'll have the last thing, that is the undertaking with your name, sign, date and place. This is just a formality, but yes, it has to be done. What about resume? It has to be made a good resume. It must not have prepositions, it must not have pronouns, it must have action verbs. I'd say that way. The reason is make short sentences and start with worked as, served as, guided, supervised, pursuing, all those action verbs where participated, attended, such kind of sentences should, the beginning of the sentence should be like that. Then the facts have to be stated very clearly. Do not mince words. Do not, be in ambiguous manner. You have to be very straightforward. Be simple and honest. I mean, you are not supposed to make a purple resume. Purple or exaggerated resume does not look good. And you've got to be polite, not very boastful. You are supposed to make a humble submission of your achievements without sounding very loud, right? Then, of course, resume is very important. It speaks because you haven't gone before the employer. You haven't given the interview as yet. That is a document that is going to make an impact before the interviewer board, that board that is going to see your resume. You haven't gone there, so it has to be like an advertisement of your own self. So resume is really important document. And these are the assignment questions, students. You can go through them, and that's all for today. Thank you.